So, a new study came out recently that shows the dire state of America and its poverty throughout its citizens in the United States. So, this article was from the Common Dreams, and they quoted that in 40 of the 50 states, low income students comprised no less than 40% of all public school children. In fact, in 21 states, children eligible for free or reduced lunches were a majority of students in 2013. In 2014, I'm sorry. What does that stat tell you right there? That stat shows you that the majority of public school children right now are in poverty. The article goes on to state that 13 of the 21 low-income states in 2014 were located in no other than the South. So, besides the South, what are the only five states in the Union to not have a minimum wage law? That's right, in the South. What are the only states that give the least amount of money to education? Oh right, the South. What states are the ones that give the least social safety nets to its citizens? Oh, that's right, it's the states in the South. A very glaring trend here. It goes even worse. In fact, Mississippi has 71% of its citizens right now that are currently, children going to school currently in poverty. Now, especially in the South, with 5 states, inclusive of Mississippi and a few others, have no minimum wage laws. So that means that the price of goods is going up, and there is no laws in place so that the workers can fight and have their prices going up, so that they're able to have their basic necessities. So right now, they're being priced out of their necessities. They can't meet their basic needs, so the children also can't either. So the children are suffering time and time and time again. Again, going off the falling of social safety nets. Since 1996, we've had a huge drop-off in the amount of social safety nets. Let me quote this for you guys from CNN. In fact, CNN puts it simply. Single-parent families with 2 children earning less than $8,700 a year saw their assistance fall 19%. Yeah, 19% between 1983 and 2010. Now, this study was from the University of Johns Hopkins, and this was looking at the top 50 social safety nets throughout the U.S., both federal and state. And this was inclusive of food stamps. So, what do we see here? Basically, what's happening is that people don't have the ability to buy their things because they don't have the money to do so, and there are no safety nets for the government's providing them, like food stamps, so that they can buy food. So what is happening? Well, the children are either going to be forced out in the street, or they're either going to be put into bad situations, and families are forced to make very drastic decisions. And now, from a child's perspective, when you're going round and round from house to house, from place to place, this makes it very hard for you to get inept at learning because you're nervous about where's my next meal going to come from. So it isn't a surprise that the educational rates are dropping off in the South especially, and also it's going to drop off inclusive of the United States if we do not continue to raise the minimum wage throughout this. Now, I just wanted to give one last of a little bit of a stat here. So I've said this before on the show, but 7 of the 30 largest corporations in America paid no taxes last year. And what that means for American citizens is that, one, the money has to come from somewhere if we're going to provide for these social safety nets. And right now, because we have to cut back on them, it shows that we're going to have to gain revenue from somewhere. So we have 2 options. We either raise taxes on the bottom 90% of people who are suffering or starving, or we do, more logical solution, which is raise taxes on the top 10%, especially the corporations, the monolithic corporations, bringing in billions of dollars in profit. See, when these corporations, which made, about $73 billion, these 7 corporations right here don't pay taxes, well, we can't fund for the social safety nets, and basically everyone is screwed in the process. The quality of life goes down, and yeah, hey, that 1%er might be doing well, but it's not good for anyone else. And we're not going to see change. We're not going to see change in any of these aspects until we take money out of politics. Because as long as a handful of billionaires are able to dictate to the politicians the reforms and legislation that's passed on the books, we won't get anything passed. Because these one percenters, they're not thinking about us. What they're thinking about is how can we get the best, most lax reforms that we can be successful for ourselves. It's sad and it's true, but it's not going to change until we get money out of politics, and that's why we have to be a part of the Wolf-Pack Amendment. This petition plans to get money completely out of politics. A few states have already done it. That's Vermont and Illinois, but we need to see stronger work to get this out of politics. Now, you guys can be a part of the solution, and I look forward to seeing that. All right, guys, have one.